Bama and the Bows back here, and it is time for the biggest fight card in a long time. UFC 251, and we have the Bows here to break down the fights. Bows, go ahead. What's your first fight of the evening?
Bama, what is going on, my friend? It's been a few weeks. Had to take a few weeks off. Not necessarily off. We just didn't put out any videos. We got past those two fight cards over the last 3 weeks. And now we're going to jump into some really awesome cards on Fight Island for the month of July. I think this is going to be a pretty big month for us. And I hope you guys get along for the ride. And the first fight of the night we're going to be talking about, we're going to be going over Martin Day versus Davy Grant. This is an exciting fight for a couple reasons. Watching tape on these two, they're pretty similar in some of their styles. I like to see these fighters, like these younger fighters with Martin Day. He's not exactly spring chicken, but he's only 31, but he's a real athlete in there. Like, I love watching these athletes put things together, and his striking is pretty darn solid. 3-1 in his last four fights, with his one loss coming as a split decision loss to Fingwan Liu. And I mean, really, if you watch that fight, you got to be thinking the only reason he did lose that fight is because it was in Beijing. Other than that, the guy's got a pretty perfect record over the last few years. I'm really excited for this fight. I think Bam, I'm gonna really dive into these picks. I don't want to make this a 50 minute video. I'm gonna try to get the info in, get it out. So that's why I'm gonna go right here and say this fight's gonna come down to let's see Martin Day's takedown defense. Let's see his ever-improving takedown defense against a guy like Davy Grant, who has the ability to drag him down to the ground. But I think with this, we're back into the bigger cage this week. So I'm going to say the rangy kickboxer and Martin Day is going to put on a great performance here, and I think he's going to pick up the victory over Davy Grant in the first fight of the night.
Okay. Next fight.
So the next fight we're going to be going over is Raulian Paeva versus Zalagas Zamulagalov, which, don't get me wrong, guys, I absolutely just butchered his name. Some of these guys, I'm not very good with pronunciation. Zalagas, awesome fighter. Paeva, awesome fighter. And I think Paeva is a guy who's possibly being overlooked a little bit in this spot. I think he is truly a dangerous man, flyweight. Coming in, maybe not the most impressive guy in his last fight, Mark De La Rosa, but he got him out of there in the second round. Before that, he fought Rogerio Bontorin, and what a great fight that was for as long as it lasted. If you remember correctly, Paeva ate a nasty knee in that first round, which made the ref stop the fight. Doctor had to take a look at it. He was unable to continue. So that's kind of a whatever loss. He did drop a split to Kai Kara France, but other than that, guy's got a pretty great record. Who he hasn't had a loss after that since 2015. He's just a really solid guy everywhere, and I think Paeva is a guy like I'm talking about with Martin Day. Now, he is a lot younger. He's only 24. So he's got a lot of time to, up his fight game all around. Training at Team Alpha Male, though, will really help him. Although I don't believe he was there for this fight camp. With everything going on in the world, I'm pretty sure that he had to have his fight camp in Brazil. But I don't see that affecting him here. Give me Paeva with the W here over Zalagas.
Okay.
All right, so the next fight we got here, Bama, we're going to be going over Marcin Tybura against Maxim Grishin. This is kind of a fun spot. Tybura, you never know what you're going to get. He's a consistent fighter, but he has a tendency to let you down, even though he can be dominating fights. Look at his Look at his fight against Derek Lewis, which that's fine. I mean, everybody gets knocked out by D. Lou, right? But
Hmm.
I'm kind of looking at this fight in the same light I did with Tyson Nam against. His name is losing me right now. A few weeks ago, Tyson Nam stepped in on his opponent got off the card, got injured, whatever. He was unable to fight. They had to pick up this new guy, and Tyson Nam came in and absolutely knocked this dude senseless. It was Adeshev. Yes, Adeshev. I had to look that up real quick, guys. That was really pissing me off for a second. So we got Marcin Tybura coming in. I think he's going to look like Tyson Nam here. We got the guy coming in on short notice, and I think this could be. I think this could be a pretty one-sided affair, even though the odds don't really tell that story. Right now, the odds have them coming in at even, and I just don't see it that way. Maxim's an older guy, 36 years old, and I think Tybura is really going to be able to kind of take this. And I hate to have to say this, I hate to have to warn you this. This could possibly be a very boring fight, but a boring fight in which Tybura comes out and wins the majority of it
Hmm.
pretty easily. So with that, I definitely am on Tybura minus 112 to walk away with the victory here, Bama.
All right.
And the next fight we're going to be going over is Volkan Uzdemir being matched up against Jerry Prochazka. This is going to be another great fight. I think this is a fight where a lot of people are looking at Jerry in this spot. Like the guy is pretty insane. He has a tremendous record, mixed martial arts record, 26-3. Several of those are knockouts. I mean, he's a hell of a fighter, hell of a knockout artist. But you got to really look who he's been fighting over the few years. Okay, his last win was against CB Dalloway. After that, Fabio Maldonado. After that, King Mo Lawal. All that in the last year. And when I look at those three guys over his last year, I don't really see the guy he's being challenged with. I don't see the guy who's forcing him to get better as a martial artist. I kind of see him fighting guys at the end of their careers, and I don't think he's gained too much from that. He's a big, exciting prospect. He's 6'4", kickboxer, but man, on the other side, we got Volkan, no time, Uzdemir, and he's a tall order for anyone, man. Now, I will say the one thing that I'm worried about on Uzdemir's end, obviously, is his cardio. We've seen the guy gas before, but we've also seen just some devastating power, and really, where I think he's going to take the fight is this man's leg kicks. I think he's going to be able to control the fight with leg kicks. I think he beat Dominic Reyes in their fight. I was surprised that the Anthony Smith loss. I was very surprised at that. Props to Anthony Smith in that one. And the Cormier one, I pretty much expected Cormier to run through this guy, but I think this guy's going to be a tough order for anyone. I think Uzdemir's going to come in, leg kicks, punch this guy. I think Uzdemir's going to be able to get this guy out of there. And I got Uzdemir walking away with the victory here, Bama.
Hmm.
Now, the next fight we're going to be going over, we're moving pretty quick here. Peter Yan against Jose Aldo. Um, what a freaking fight! I mean, this is actually kind of funny. This is a fight over the last few weeks where I've been on Yan, and I haven't even thought twice about it. Like it's been Yan, 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 Yan all day, Yan all night. Well, I got a little bored over the last few days. I'm like, you know what? Let me do my due diligence. Let me watch some tape on these guys. I'm a huge Jan fan. I think the guy is amazing. I think he's absolutely the future of this division. But for right now, this fight, I truly think this is tailor made for Jose Aldo to come in and get his belt back at 135 pounds. Start a whole new career down at bantamweight. You look at Jan's obviously amazing. but I'm kind of doing the same thing I did earlier, where you're looking at this guy's fight record. Okay, well he goes John Dodson, past his prime, Jimmy Rivera, who's a monster in his own right, but Jimmy did give him some issues in that fight. I was actually at that fight, and his next fight, which I was at as well, against Uriah Faber. I mean, pure domination. I mean, but it's Uriah Faber. It's a completely different style fight. And then you look at freaking Jose Aldo. Look at how he looked in his. A lot of people will say, well, yeah, but he lost. He freaking lost to Marlon Moraes, which Marlon Moraes is a monster. That wouldn't be nothing to be sad about. However, if you actually watch that fight and you actually scored it for Marlon Moraes, I need to know what drugs you're on because I don't know what you saw that I didn't. I did not see a world where Jose Aldo didn't at least win 2 rounds. I'm not sure where I'm not sure where the judges got the split for Moraes. However, that is in the past now, and you look at Aldo's resume. Well, over his last 5 fights, he's fought Holloway twice, or 6 fights. I'm sorry, Holloway twice, Jeremy Stevens, Moicano, Volkanovski, and Moraes. I mean, that is a murderer's row. A murderer's row. You got that's a murderer's row, man. And also his other loss over his last 8 fights is to Connor. I mean, he's a monster. He's a monster, and I think the thing about this fight is it's gonna play right into his hands. He's obviously Jan's gonna want to box with him, but I don't know. I kind of see Aldo fighting this fight like he did against Moraes, and he's gonna be advancing the whole time, standing in Jan's face. And I think if he maybe looks to implement his leg kicks here, because he didn't really throw any kicks against Moraes, which if you watch Aldo over the years, his leg kicks have totally steadily declined over the few years. So this is not nothing I can absolutely count on him for, but I know it's in his back pocket. So let me see him hopefully utilize those kicks again. His boxing, I think his boxing might shine here. I think he might have the ability to come in and light Yan up. And at the very least, guys, at the very least, I'm not saying Aldo's going to come in and dominate, but come on. He's not a 2-1 dog to Yan. He's not. He's not. And I hope Yan doesn't come in to prove me wrong and makes him look like a 2-1 dog. But I think this fight's much closer to even. And with that and their fight styles, I'm definitely going to be taking Jose Aldo plus 200 to get the job done here, Bama. Pretty excited for that one.
All right.
The next fight we're going to be going over is Alexander Volkanovski going up against in his rematch against Max Holloway. Ooh, the best is blessed, Mark. I do love Max Holloway. He's a great guy. Probably one of the best martial artists we have in this world. But that doesn't win you fights on Saturday nights in a cage match. Mark, everybody knows that. Ask Chael Sonnen. He says it's a fist fight on a Saturday night. Oh, you're darn right it is. And that's what it's going to be Saturday night. The last time they were out was 245. Again, I mentioned earlier I was at that event. Super pumped up, man. I got Volkanovski at plus 170. I thought it was a gift from the gods. It was, but I was hoping we could get something similar to that number there, but I'm not ignorant, so I knew that wasn't going to happen. But Volkanovski sitting at minus 230 odds, that's still okay because, guys, it's very simple. Sometimes you just don't need to look too deep into these fights because sometimes if you search too hard, you might just end up skewing your own vision. Guys, this fight's going to go exactly how the first fight went. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how else to say this. It's going to go the very same way. And what I mean by that is I just see Volk dominating from bell to bell. Bell to bell, domination from Volkanovski. I mean, Holloway's a dog, but Volkan, just his pressure, his output, his power. I mean, Max can sit here and say he didn't feel those leg kicks in the first fight all he wants, but Volk's going to come out and do the same thing in the second fight. So whether he feels them or not, whether he feels he's point fighting or not, I mean, I thought he dominated. I know Max said he thought he won the first 2 rounds. Personally, I thought Volk 50-45'd him. So I just don't see this fight going any different unless Holloway really, really, really tries to turn up the pressure and flip the pressure on Volk and try to gas him out or something. But I haven't seen this guy gas yet. I don't know if we will. Obviously, Blust isn't going to gas. But I also think he's extremely durable still and still very tough. So will Volk be able to get him out of there? That I'm not 100% sure on, but I'm I'm very sure of Volk cruising to another victory here at minus 230 odds. And now, Bama, we got the last fight of the night. We got one of the baddest men walking this planet right now, the welterweight champ, Kamaru Dean Usman, against the BMF, Jorge Masvidal, on 6 days' notice, on Fight Island. This is insane. This is truly the fight. Now, don't get me wrong. For my own personal, what would you say? On my own personal purposes, I was hoping that Gilbert Burns was going to get the fight because I thought that was going to be a clear walkthrough for Usman. Don't get me wrong. I still think this should be a clean walkthrough for Usman with with the chance of Masvidal going for broke early, which I believe he will, taking the fight on 6 days' notice. Other than that, I see Usman absolutely tearing through this guy. I know Jorge's been working with top wrestlers, but it's just not the same as when you're in there locked in a cage with this freak. And that's what Usman is. He's a freak. He's an animal. Um, he might not be human. And if he keeps improving in these fights, he's going to be a damn terror for years and years. And at this point, hell, we might only want to see the Colby rematch because that was a great fight up until obviously the later rounds. But yeah, this fight, I see Jorge having to go for broke. And can he go for broke? You're damn right he can. Look what he did to Ben Askren. Now, I was a guy who truly believed that if he didn't land that knee on Ben Askren, he was going to get ragdolled for the whole fight. However, you just never know what's going to happen. You don't know what Jorge has up his sleeve. Now, I will say this. If Usman wants to sit there and try to box with Jorge like he did Colby Covington the first couple rounds of their fight, remember Colby Covington, I don't see people talk about this too often. Colby Covington was piecing this man up. He did not look well on the feet against Colby. And Jorge is going to be leaps and bounds better than Colby on the feet. So if I don't know, he's been working with Trevor Whitman. He obviously got it done with his hands in his last fight. Is he going to be a wrestler that falls in love with his hands? For his sake, I hope not. He obviously has extreme power, but Jorge would absolutely piece him up, I believe, on the feet. So I don't want to see that from Kamaru. I want to see a grind out. I want to see him fight like he did against Tyron, just in your face, pressure, pummel. And I don't think on 6 days' notice that's going to be something Jorge's going to be able to deal with. So absolutely, I see the current odds on Usman at minus 278, which is a little steep, but I think in this spot, I think he should be at least a minus 4 to minus 500 favorite. So I believe there's tremendous value there in Usman. Give me Usman to absolutely dominate Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. And I will say, I will be playing a little prop on the side of first round KO for Jorge. I'm not sure what those odds are now, but they should be decent. And Bam, that's gonna do it for our
Uh,
picks this fight card.
can you do a little quick recap for everybody?
Yep,
Of our
yep,
players?
yep. I was just gonna go over a quick recap. So again, guys, UFC 251 this weekend. Bama and the Bows. We're gonna be on Martin Day minus 190, Raulian Paeva minus 190, Marcin Tybura minus 112. Volkan Uzdemir minus 177. Jose Aldo plus 200. Alexander Volkanovski